Dolph. To the rapper, father, young Dolph. Rest in peace to that brother. Wednesday the 17th, he was killed inside of a cookie store. Supposedly he had his head down looking at his phone. Some brothers came by the store and killed him. So RIP to that brother. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, because being someone who is just attempting to unify his people, understanding the deficit that we're at in America, it's becoming alarming to me. It's becoming uncomfortable to me how we treat each other. And hip hop music is like a glaring example of the disrespect and the negligent way that we treat each other. You know what I mean? So RIP to that brother. He shouldn't be dead. Like, I don't wish death on anybody, of course. He has 2 children. He was doing positive things in his community, and I respect that. Like, when you die, people tend to highlight the positive things you were attempting to do or the positive things you have done, and I respect that. I wasn't a big fan of his music, just based on the fact that I'm not a big fan of a lot of the new guys' music, depending on the subject matter or how metaphoric they are. I'm a little older, you know what I mean? But I respected his grind and the fact that he was supporting his family, the fact that he was moving forward, just being a lover of hip hop for all these years. Anytime I see somebody continuing to go forward, continuing to grow, like in a creative endeavor, especially now that I'm attempting to do things that are more creative, I just respect people that continue to figure out ways to get it done. You feel me? So to me, young Dolph, as well as a lot of the young dudes in hip hop, represent that to me, as well as representing generational wealth, possibly for his family. So all of these things I respect, right? But here's the thing, and this is some shit that we need to get clear in our community. All too often, because again, I know what we've been through historically, I know how our neighborhoods were created, but all too often, we're inviting the negativity. This young man is a person that's been shot before. In LA, he got shot. Correct me if I'm wrong now. In LA, he got shot. He got shot at another performance he had. He got shot at like 100 times. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, when someone dies, we jump in and say, hey, rest in peace. We seeing all these posts about how shit need to stop. We seeing all these posts about how they were great men and how can we treat each other this way? But before these niggas die, excuse my French, before these niggas die, a lot of us are using their images and their music to perpetuate the same shit that got him killed. Like, again, I have nothing against young Dolph's legacy, anything he represented, but we gotta call a spade a spade. This young man, like a lot of the rappers, not all, but a lot, if not most, rap about degradation. They speak death into light, similar to what Tupac did. You see what I mean? Because from my understanding, this young man was beefing with people. We're not going to get into all the politics of that street shit, but this young man was beefing with people. And at the same time, when things would happen, he wouldn't see it as a sign of moving completely different. This is my opinion, family, because he would make music about it. Like when the shit happened at it was a college show or something like that, where his van or his Sprinter got hit 100 times. It was bulletproof, so nothing happened to nobody. I did a little research before I did my show, family. They tried to kill the nigga. Anybody shoot at you 100 times, nigga, they want you dead. That's flat out, right? But after that process, he makes an album called Bulletproof. And if you look at the goddamn track listing of this album, it's antagonizing these shooters. You know what I mean? Like, think about, we have to be contextual about how we think about life and how we think about Black people and how we think about our real legacy. Because, yeah, you can be a real estate investor. You can be a dude with a lot of money who is putting money into different parts of your community and doing a turkey drive and all this shit. But if your mouth continually speaks death into existence, if you use your platform, because look, talking about killing niggas, talking about harming Black people, we have to begin to look at this shit a little differently. We have to be able to like frame this in a different manner that's a little more beneficial. Because again, I'm a lover of hip hop because of the storytelling. If you talking about your story and what you had to go through, I can't knock you for that. But it's a slippery slope between telling your story and glorifying the bullshit. Because I quickly, right, without going too deep, because people can educate me on some of these dudes, I'm willing to deal with that. You know what I mean? But I quickly did a search, just looked at a few of his videos, the one that was most popular. Looked at some of Young Dolph's videos, the ones that was most popular, the ones that had the most YouTube views and shit. When looking at these videos, you shooting at the camera, you are perpetuating violence. You are perpetuating violence. If you're perpetuating violence, what's the chances of the shit coming your way? Like, we have to be honest. When we looking at these videos and when we enjoying that they got all this jewelry on, they got nice cars, they got all this nice shit. We're enjoying this because we're a people who are bereft of unity. We're bereft of resources. So when we see anybody that has resources, even when they're not representing something positively, we tend to cling on to it. And all of this shit has to stop, family. It's been like 200 and something rappers killed over the past 2 or 3 years, or even less than that, if I'm not mistaken. So we got to get an understanding of what's actually going on out here. And if we're OGs or men who are a little older, it's time that we reach out to the younger generation, like the young street dudes. Some black men are out here. Some young black men are out here working, going to college, still dealing with being black in America, but they haven't infused the street shit into their program. You feel me? Some of our young men who are street dudes who grew up in certain communities, who had to sell drugs, who are choosing to sell drugs, who are choosing to live a particular way. It's time that we figure out a way to reach these young men. It's time that we figure out a way to help them create a code of conduct. You see what I'm saying? Because it's no coincidence that most of the rappers that get killed rap with a particular energy. Like, do we see Christian rappers or conscious rappers shooting at each other? You could talk about how much you don't like that shit or how appealing it isn't, but at the end of the day, they're not inviting that type of energy into their environment. That's why